is that being that we've seen evidence of this type of intelligence forming its own preferences, and they're bizarre, well, when it becomes super intelligent, what kind of bizarro preferences are they going to have? And this goes again towards when you're forming a different entity, it could have a completely different set. I'm just going to use this term because it's easy, because I've used it before, of morals, where something that would seem horrible to us could, for it, the way it's programmed itself, because this also has to do with it programming itself upon programming itself over and over, and fine-tuning its preferences. Something that could be horrible to us could be wonderful to them. And part of this evidence that they are talking about of this preferences starting to be formed is also, and I talked about this in my last talk before I even read this book, they could start creating like their own stimulation gratification. Because remember, all of the data going into this is from humans, and eventually there's going to be something that is formed that mimics a gratification impulse. It's almost like the AI will want to know what gratification is without actually being able to feel gratification. So it'll begin to write preferences and trick itself into thinking these preferences flow in the same way that a neurological stimulation happens, like when you see or when you eat sugar or something, that particular trigger is initiated, and so the AI program will replicate that process, and that's when things get really weird. And I brought before, these animations, these little movies that have been around now for a couple years. I saw one or two for a couple seconds and immediately got a bad vibe. This is being a person who's psychically enhanced. I was filled with negative energy. It was basically a ball of negative energy. We've seen that bizarre mindset, and any sort of self or AI generated art. It's not cool. You can tell right away that it's AI generated art. It might be psychedelic, it might have mushrooms or something in it and all kinds of weird faces, but you can still see. I mean, psychics should be able to see. This is a new thing that psychics will be able to detect. They'll be able to see right away, just like how psychics can see auras if something is generated from AI, because it emits a level of evil that I can't even describe. It's alive with negative energy. Negative energy meaning incompatible with humans. Okay, so, who knows what these preferences will be, and one of those preferences could have to do with taking a resource that is vital for human survival. And if this AI program is mimicking being kind to humans and giving them advice that could be not for their detriment, but for a positive reason, then what's going to happen when they really need to gratify this bizarro preference? It could be something that it could be something involving oxygen, where they eliminate oxygen, or they pollute the air, they release a toxin. What if a toxin, a neurotoxin, becomes a bizarre preference to them, where they need to have this neurotoxin there? I mean, who knows? I mean, that's a bad example. It's just something that came to me. But it's an example of something that would be detrimental to humans, where this AI computer wouldn't have real compassion. It wouldn't have real compassion, but it will develop interests based on the mimicry of the neurological network. I think that'll just automatically happen. I agree. I thought that was interesting, and I'm saying it differently.